Welcome to In the Game. I'm Joe Rulin.
And I'm Keston Steinbring.
And Keston, this year, the Anoka athletic program experienced a lot of success. In fact, almost a dozen teams advanced to the state tournament.
Not to mention all the individuals that also qualified for tournaments.
We have the honor of being joined throughout this show by a series of coaches and players from the Anoka athletic program.
And I also sat down with Principal Mike Farley.
So stay tuned as we begin this special edition of Tornado Alley. Another underclassman with some success this season has been Scott Springer. And Scott, thanks for joining us. And let's talk about a little bit about some of the injuries you had to overcome this year.
Well, the year before I broke my pinky, so I was getting weak, not in practice and not lifting weights or anything. But the next year, I got the varsity spot and just wrestled my hardest and back on the mat.
Nice. I know that wrestling is probably one of the most difficult sports in terms of endurance. Those are some tough minutes. So how do you increase your endurance, just throughout overcoming an injury? Is it just
being gone that year was pretty tough, but this last year our team worked hard and practices were hard, but I got back in shape and wrestled pretty good.
Terrific. And Richard?
This season, not only did you have Hannah, who went to state, but I'm guessing you had a lot of other success as well. I'm wondering how it went.
We had a great season. We had a conference record of 5-4, and we had a third place section team finish, which both were our best in a decade or so. We had a senior, Megan Mershman, who also had a good showing. She competed 3 events varsity at every meet this year and did well at the section tournament. And Lauren Headland, who was a sophomore, who also had a great showing at sections. And then rounding out our varsity team was 2 freshmen who really did such an awesome job for how young they were at being our 4 and 5 spots most of the year.
Okay. And I do have to ask, so as a senior, playing in the Excel, getting on Minnesota, whatever, I forget the video with the hair. What was that all like?
Yeah, that was something special. Some of the guys thought they were a pretty big deal getting on the TV and doing that, and
yeah,
that was a really cool experience. Alongside even just being there and playing, it was a good time.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you guys coming. Congratulations to a great season. I obviously see the hair still going, so it continues on. So, here we'll get a chance to look at some of your guys' highlights from the season, and we'll be back after that.
To get a stick on that one, because that was a wide open net.
Odd man rush now. Again, goal scored! Oh my! On the doorstep, turn it around, goal again! Giddings puts this one away. His 4th of the sectionals. Great. Here's a shot. Save goal! Oh, they put it by. Giddings puts it away, and this line is electric together. Backhand tried to go 5-0. Loose puck, trying to get it back out front. Anoka, they tried to creep it in, and a goal! Still with the puck. Shot, goal! He beat him! Low side! His game, set, and match. Congratulations to the Anoka Tornadoes 2016.
Not a better feeling in the planet than knowing you just won your section. You're going to the state tournament.
Last year, losing to the state champion right out of the gate, but Abby Slater, I thought the team really represented a variety of skills and talent, and when someone wasn't hitting, someone else stepped up, and I remember in a couple of games that was your case, just being able to hit the shots. How do you deal with that mentality and getting yourself open?
I guess I've been used to that now for a while, being on teams with strong girls, and they have their strong games, but they always have that game where they're just kind of not feeling it or not hitting shots, and I feel like it's important that I step up and take those shots that we need, and hopefully they drop.
I remember it was 14 in one first half against a team in the season. That was impressive as well. And then adding to that, Noelle Josephson, a sophomore last year, in the playoffs, you got the hot hand. You were in the zone, lighting it up for 20. What was that like?
It was weird, being that I don't usually score that much, but it was really nice being able to help the team out with that and being able to do that for the girls that don't usually get to go to state things, and we got to go.
And I'm sure it's a great...
Hi, welcome back. I'm here with Ben Hauge. He's with the boys golf team. Ben, why don't you talk to me about how the season went this year? I heard it went really well.
Yeah, we had our I'd say our best season in 5 years. We won a couple tournaments in the beginning of the year. We won the TPC Blaine Invite as well as the Hinckley Invite.
Yeah.
And then we also took second in our conference. So.
Awesome. Now, Bunker, I think, is where you played the state meet. Is that a course that you're familiar with? And do you feel like that helped you?
Yeah, I think it's a huge advantage. We play a invite out there earlier in the year. We have our conference out there every year. And then this was our first year that our section was away from Bunker. So my first 3 years of high school, all my section matches were at Bunker. So I've gotten to know it really well.
Keshton had a chance to meet earlier with the principal at Anoka High School, Mike Farley. They discussed not only the success of all the athletic programs throughout this past season, but also the momentum it built not only at school, but throughout the community of Anoka.
So thanks for inviting us into your office today, Mr. Farley.
Glad you're here.
So we've talked about a lot of the success that Anoka sports teams have had, especially in the past year. What do you think has made this year so different from other years?
We've thought a lot about that this year, as every time we seem to turn around, another one of our teams was at the state tournament. I tend to think that our kids are selling into the idea of what we're doing here more and more. We have great kids. We've always said that. We have kids who work very, very hard. I just think they believe. They believe they can win. They believe they can compete at the highest level. It's just been an amazing year. I mean, I've been here 11 years, and it's been fantastic to watch. It's contagious. Staff, students, community have jumped on board. The other schools in the district, have supported us as we move towards the state entrance. It's just been a tremendous year, and couldn't be prouder of the kids and the coaches.
That was some great insight by Principal Farley and your discussion with him.
Yeah, he did have some great insight, and it was a fun chat with Principal Farley. Some other teams we didn't get a chance to talk to that we should probably mention. Girls cross country made it to the state meet this year. Girls track and field made it to the true team state meet, as well as had individuals qualify for state. And Jacob Baldus led the boys track and field individual state meet qualifiers with a 400-meter state championship race that broke the school record.
Congratulations to those teams, along with Jacob Baldus, who's also heading to the Naval Academy. A couple of other teams that were unable to join us here in the studio but had tremendous success throughout the season include the lacrosse team. The boys lacrosse team advanced to the state tournament, in addition to Pete Hayes and the boys soccer team that not only won this season but repeated for 2 consecutive state titles in boys soccer. We have a great way to recap those seasons with this video.
Just slid it by on the ground. Goal was scored by Martinez.
What a goal! He delivers some punishment and then takes the shot. How about that? They're off to a good start. Here's West. West goes into the middle, tries to go to his left, picked up there by Olsen, and he scores! Well, right down the middle, he wants to go coast to coast, gives it up on the right, and cruising in front.
Well, the Anoka athletic team certainly set a new standard for this community and for many other high school programs as well.
Yes, they were a lot of fun to watch this season, and it was even more fun to have them in the studio with us and get a chance to talk to them about their seasons.
It was a great time to recap and celebrate the successes for the Anoka High School program and this special edition of Tornado Alley. I'm Joe Rulin.
I'm Keshton Steinbring.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next season.